Oh, hello everyone and welcome. Good to see you all. Looks like we got quite a few people in already, and that's great to see. Pipe Writer, how you doing? Fragrant Offering Piper, Tony 513, Everett Young, Bona Piper, Piper on the 45, Pipe John, Monty 53 Piper. I think I already said A Pipe Man, but I'll say it twice. JMZ 56. Good to see all you guys. Hope you're doing well on this Friday and you had a great week. Hello, Armchair Piper, Full Smoking Bar. How you doing, Nick? That's Gentleman Channel. Hello there. So, got a 7LE 311KS. Kirk Maxon, how you doing, buddy? Cogs and Sprockets, good to see you. Todd A. And I'm going to be loading this with some of this Carolina Red Flake with Perique from Cornell and Deal. Paul Ralou, hello there. Everett Young, I almost went with a cigar tonight. I was seriously considering it. George Tiedemann, how you doing, my friend? Paul the Piper, good to see you. Jimmy Tabacchi, welcome. Good to see you, buddy. Old Hollywood Briar, Wisconsin Woodsman, West Virginia Grizzly. Good to see you guys. Yeah, unfortunately, this is already sold out, it seems. I saw an email from Eddie Gray today that they do have some at the Pipe Nook, but I don't expect it to last long. I bought 4 tins. I'm going to sell her 2. Cliff Higgins, hello. Big Dave, good to see you. I hope I'm not repeating people. I think I'm keeping track in my head. Everett, you're a man after my own heart with that. Ocho Ita, good to see you, buddy. Kilted Piper Steve. Oh, Steve wants to know about the Flints. Yeah. So this stuff, if you haven't had a chance to try it, it's hard to find now, but like I said, the Pipe Nook does have some. I think it's going to be fantastic in like 4 or 5 years. It's good now. It's very good. The Perique is amazing. It's the 18-year-old Perique, and it's very smooth. It's just that the Carolinas are a little light, in my opinion. So I really think some age is going to help it out quite a bit. No, Bona Piper, it's not very peppery. I mean, honestly, I don't quite know how to describe the Perique except to say that it's smooth. It's like the edge is taken off of it from the age. It's it's easy to retrohale. It's just great. Not a lot of nose tickle. Yeah, Wisconsin Woodsman. I actually wish that I had cellared this instead of smoking it, but I wanted to try it. Oh, you'll love the 311. It's really a fantastic pipe. And this pipe was a gift from a dear friend, so every time I smoke it, I think of him. It is nice that it sits, Christian. Yeah, that is definitely a benefit there. Fragrant, I've honestly decreased the size of my Zippo flame. I got teased about that so much that I finally decreased it. And it works for me. It's not as dangerous. I've always said it doesn't look as big in person as it does on the video. I think the video, for some reason, makes it look much bigger. Paul with the black double X again, and 7LE Hercules. That's fantastic. Not billowing clouds of smoke. Not yet. I'm just got the charring light started. The CaneRod's 10 pounds. Speaking of the camera adding 10 pounds, has anybody else noticed that their clothes are shrinking? I have. I'm honestly, I know what my clothes aren't shrinking, but it's getting a little concerning. I have to get more exercise in. Well, if I didn't wear pants, I wouldn't know that I was having this problem. Yeah, that's exactly right, Cliff. It's one of the adverse effects of COVID-19, I think. Well, Everett, you've been doing a lot more walking than I have. Signalman Tony from Rhode Island. How you doing, buddy? That's the truth, Mark. Not hungry, just bored. I was telling someone the other day that, it used to be that I'd have a favorite TV show and I'd want to have a snack to go with it. And now it's more that I want to have a snack and I start looking for a TV show to justify it. That sounds accurate, Fragrant. Yeah, it wasn't a lot to begin with, Mark, so I'm with you. I've moved on to books pretty consistently now. So tonight we're having a fine Yingling lager. Yardism, good to see you. Donald Hughes, Takio Kimura, Piano Piper, good to see you, buddy. South Jersey Piper, soon I hope. Chuck, that's a low-calorie snack. That's a good one. Hey, Couch, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Mark in Rhode Island is asking for binge-worthy suggestions. Tonight I look like Drew Carey. Last week, who did I look like? Who was it that just passed away and somebody said I looked like him? Well, Kilted Piper Steve has got a blending kit with several tobaccos and he doesn't know what to put together. Well, think about what you like, Steve. Yeah, if you like, I don't know what's in the blending kit, so I can't really say much. But try to just focus on what you like, or even better, start off with the individual tobaccos because that's a great way to train your palate. Yeah, it was Brian Dennehy. Thanks, Cogs. I didn't really want to be reminded of that, but I appreciate it. Corvette Jim, good to see you, buddy. So you're not a fan of Yingling, Donald? That's okay, I'll drink it. I see Praise of Velvet. That must mean that Ben is around somewhere. There he is. Chad, I can see that. So Tilted Piper Steve was asking about the Zippo flints, and if you watched my live stream on Saturday, you know I misplaced. I thought I had bought more than I actually had, so I bought a couple packs of Zippo flints off of Amazon, and I put them away so that I would be able to find them in a very logical place. And then I needed a flint, and I realized I cannot find the Zippo flints, and I looked for, it was over a day I was looking, and I just couldn't find them. And I was complaining about this on Saturday because I was using one of these clipper lighters, which are great lighters, by the way. But I really wanted to use the Zippo, and I couldn't find the flints. Well, I found them later that evening. They were in a cigar box, an old cigar box, and it was an old cigar box where I keep matches, a couple of old lighters, Zippo wicks, lots of sort of lighting of the pipe related things, and it was an incredibly logical place for me to put them. I just forgot that I put them there. So. Oh, Christian, then I'd have to find the email. WKR Piper, I don't think I said hello to you, buddy. Lefty me. Old Hollywood Briar, I have not gone out fishing. I don't think we're actually allowed to go fishing in Pennsylvania right now. So I haven't gone out at all. Yeah, Donald, that's a good idea. Yeah, Tony, at least as far as I know, and to be honest, I haven't investigated it that far, but like we can't go to the state parks or anything. I heard that about Utah, and I'm very jealous. Hey, Dodif, good to see you. So they are allowing fishing in Texas. Yeah, it seems like Texas is starting to move on, from what I've heard. Yeah, Paul, that's kind of what it's like here in Pennsylvania. Smoking Kentucky Piper. Working on the funnel of a pipe stem. That's a good way to pass the time. Chuck's having trouble finding butane? Is that because the stores are closed or they're out of butane? I guess that makes sense, Brian. I heard Georgia's actually moving forward too. They're opening up like barber shops and hair salons and things like that. Hello, Philadelphia Piper. How is that old Joe Krantz Blue yardism? I've never tried that. What is different about it compared to old Joe Krantz? Christian wants to know when they're going to open up the tattoo parlors. The parks in Bucks County are open. Okay, that's good to know, Armchair Piper. Maybe I'm wrong about fishing. All's going well, Philadelphia Piper. Thanks. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it seems like the wise thing to do, Brian. They're out. Yeah, Chuck. Sorry to hear that. Probably not shipping it like they were before. Yeah, Takeo, that's, I assume that there's sarcasm in that Liberty Bell comment, and I agree with it. Ah, no Perique. Yeah, I wouldn't like that very much then. I think the Perique really makes old Joe Krantz. Bought 8 fox pelts. For fly tying, old Hollywood Briar? Battle Creek Briar. Wow, they weren't letting you mow the lawn for a while. That's something. We have had no restrictions on what we can do around our house for the most part. And we are allowed to go out and walk and things like that. They just don't want congregating. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. You've seen me over the years, and my hair tends to get long and then short and long and short because I'm really lazy about getting haircuts. And I told you, oh gosh, it's got to be like 3 months ago now. I went to that odd place that had opened up near my house where it was, loud music and everybody was tattooed and bearded and all that. But they treated me really well, and they were very very respectful, and I actually enjoyed just the fact that it was a guys only place, and because normally I go to like these haircuttery places. So I started setting up a reminder for every 6 weeks to go there, and I've been doing that pretty religiously since that experience. And now that I can't, it's been probably 8 weeks since I've had a haircut now, it's really starting to bother me. So I got to get back into the mindset of not caring. And I do have clippers, so I may give in, but I got a long way to go before that. Yeah, Jimmy, I think tanning studios, or let's get rid of that ozone layer. Did anyone see there was another report out today, and I haven't seen this actually in the scientific literature, but apparently there's a French study that's shown that in France, the percentage of smokers that have actually been hospitalized with coronavirus is ridiculously low compared to the population of smokers that are in France. And they're arguing that there may be some protective value to smoking, which, we joked about this a while back, how Haunted Bookshop was going to protect us all. There was also a study that is published in the scientific literature out of China, and there, the smoking rate among men in China is like 25%, I think. It's very, very high, surprisingly high. And the actual percentage of men that were hospitalized with coronavirus that were smokers was only like around 2% of the population. So there's definitely something going on there. It's really, really intriguing. Ron H is, I wouldn't recommend that, Ron. 1078th bowl. Yeah, Takio, there's a long history. I mean, I remember seeing some old ads that talked about how smoking tobacco was good for coughs, of all things, which is kind of funny, and various other things. Yeah, Couch, that was actually it's thought that in smokers that inhale, there's actually a downregulation of the cells that express the ACE2 receptor. I don't want to get into too much science here, but yeah, but then David Dixon's pointing this out. In the French study, they actually think it was more about nicotine than any effect of the smoke on ACE2. expressing cells. So they're actually thinking about nicotine patches. Wouldn't that be remarkable if nicotine winds up being the cure for this? Yeah, Everett, that's the way I've been thinking about it. You know, if I smoke and that causes people to leave me alone, I'm fine with it. It was a cure for tiger bites. I didn't know that one. Well, you should be in good shape then, Couch. Yeah, Christian, that was an interesting story. They're using tobacco plants to make the vaccine. Of course, it may not be a vaccine that does anything, but they're growing it in the tobacco plants because, you know, there's been so much research into tobacco genetics and how to manipulate tobacco plants for the industry. There's a lot of viruses there's a tobacco mosaic virus that is really bad for tobacco plants, and that is something that has gotten a ridiculous amount of research early on. I think it was the first virus that actually was structurally defined, and that has actually led to our understanding of just about all the other viruses because we learned so much about that one. And so we know a lot about tobacco and how it makes proteins and all that, and now they're able to use that knowledge to get the tobacco plant to actually make things other than nicotine. And one of the things it can make is viral particles or different proteins that can be used in a vaccine. They're really fascinating. Hey, Professor Jeremiah, good to see you. Now, Ben, they're not using the fine tobacco for the vaccine. Plus, after you extract the protein from it, you can still smoke what's left. Is that right, Christian? I thought the number 25% was in China, and it was lower in France, but could be. Just smoking my vaccine. Yeah, Philadelphia Piper. I think any pipe club would be great at this point. Oh, I got you, Ben. I got you. Sorry. 32%. Wow, 32% of men smoke in France. That's amazing. Pipe Grump, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Mr. Mojo's 111. Good to see you. Sorry, I did not get through that name very well. And Ralphie 88. BBR Street Gang, how you doing, buddy? So you a Tampa Bay fan yet? Yeah, Takio, it was at one time that high. Couch, I don't want to talk about the draft. They screwed up. Well, Couch, I feel bad for you. Sorry, Couch, I spent like 7 years living in Pittsburgh, and my wife's family is all rabid Steeler fans, so one of my favorite things to do is to tease Browns fans. But I do kind of feel bad for the Browns. They've had a rough road, or the Browns fans certainly have. Yeah, Cincinnati's in that category too there, WKR Piper. There you go, Joseph. I say that whenever my wife's family is around. Yes, Monty 53 Piper, the Lions do indeed stink. But you know, I'm just teasing. I mean, I've seen, so I'm a Phillies fan, and you know, the Phillies I don't know if this is still true, but for a long time, the Phillies had the distinction of being the professional sports team, and this is all professional sports, not just baseball, but all professional sports. They have lost more games than any other team, which, you know, led to some really tough times. And then they've had their good years, but most of the time being a Phillies fan has not been that great. Yeah, Ralphie, I guess. Dooza Pipes, you're an Eagles fan too. Good to hear that. Lefty me, you're being ignored. Sorry about that. Oh, that would be great, Couch. Is that where you're moving to? Oh, you moved from Pittsburgh. Ron H can make a yeah, I'd love to do that. I mean, I go out there often enough, and my wife would always be up to a long weekend or something. So, and I'd love to have a meetup on this side of the state too. Unfortunately, they obviously the one at Boswell's didn't go. So, yeah, we could do a video. That'd be great. Aaron Moore Flake in the Friday Savinelli. Sounds good, Piano Piper. Yeah, Fragrant Offering, I know. I'm sorry to do that, but I miss baseball terribly. You know, I watched some old games. Our local sports channel is actually replaying some, you know, key games that, and the series is called Only the Wins, so they're only playing games where the Phillies or the Eagles won. It's been fun listening to that, but of course you know the outcome, so it's just not the same thing. That's quite a surprise, Wisconsin Woodsman. Oh, that hurt, A Pipe Man. Yeah, we all thought that fragrant. We all thought that Harper was going to be the solution, but the rest of the team didn't step up. Not a hockey fan, Donald, although the Flyers have been doing fantastic. You know, I was in school back in the I guess it was in the 70s when the Flyers won the 2 Stanley Cups in a row, and it's been a little slow going since then. So says everyone in Boston, PBR Street Gang. Yeah, the Broad Street Bullies. Was 74 cent. Oh, that's right, because the slogan was hat trick in 76. So 74, 75, and then they lost in 76. They did get to the Cup Finals, I believe, but they did not make they didn't win. Dave Schultz, yeah. That's right, the hammer. It's Philadelphia, Chuck. I remember Dave Schultz actually put out a record, just a single song. He didn't have an album, thank God. And the song was, I forget what it was called, but the main line was, "Baby, how long will you keep me in the penalty box?" Take care, Professor. Good to see you. Yeah, Pete Rose, boy. Good luck with that, PBR. I don't think Pete Rose is ever going to get in the Hall of Fame. I got mixed feelings about it. You know, he certainly deserves to be in there. He did admit to what he did. But at the same time, you got other guys in there that we know cheated. Baseball's got some problems right now, and I think what Pete Rose did is minor compared to some of the stuff that went on last year. He didn't cheat. He just bet on baseball, which you're not allowed to do. Yeah, and I don't know what they're going to do about Bonds or McGuire. That's absolutely right. It would be a complete sham. Yeah, he's not a popular guy. Oh, you found the Schultz song. Thanks, Chad. So Yardism posted a link up there on the. I wonder if I could see if I can do this and play it for you. Oh, if I do that, I can't do that. It's going to lead to, yeah, that is the song though. Anyway, you can all go listen to that if you want, or check it out afterwards. If I play it now, it's going to create a feedback loop that will be terrible. Hey, Rob, good to see you, buddy. Better late than never, right? What's up, third? Chuck's a hockey fan. Personally, I don't mind hockey. Both basketball and hockey are sports that I really enjoy if I'm watching them live. On television, I'm not so fond of them, and I really love baseball and I really like football, and it just doesn't leave a lot of time for the other two. So they just fall by the wayside for me. I don't necessarily dislike them. I just don't get into them the same way I get into baseball and football. Yeah, that's true, old Hollywood Briar. Baseball does have a sound to it. I love baseball on the radio. It just puts me in a mood that's very nostalgic, and at the same time, I'm very excited about the game. It must be really odd for Boston fans to know ahead of time that their teams are going to win, and then terribly disappointing when they don't. Boris says hockey's most popular sport in Finland. Yeah, I will sometimes put a hockey game on the radio if there's nothing else on and I'm working in the shop. It's good that way. I don't know why watching it on TV just doesn't work for me. Not with golf on. Golf on the radio would be weird. I've never experienced that, Jim. Fragrant, I'd still be against that because I dislike Brady and Gronkowski as much as I dislike the Patriots. Echo, that's good. Paul, you're not a cricket fan. I got to tell you, I have this odd appreciation of cricket that I can't explain. I went to New Zealand many years ago, and while I was there, I just started watching cricket on television, and I became intrigued. And I honestly don't think I understand the rules because I never bothered to try and learn them. I just watched the games that I could watch when I was in the room, and I like it because it's very statistical and mathematical in a sense, and you can make predictions about. They even show, I don't know if they do this always, but at the games I was watching, they showed these graphs of where they were projecting the score to go. It was really fascinating. But I have to admit, if it was on, a couple times a week, I probably wouldn't watch it. Yeah, they do go on for days. So I'll tell you, WKR Piper, I got a Harry Carey story. My wife actually kissed Harry Carey. I was kissed by him. She'll be mad at me for telling this story, but she doesn't watch. So my wife lived in Pittsburgh, and for a while, she worked for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't know exactly what her job was, but she was behind the scenes a fair amount. And her background is secretarial work, so I'm sure it was some sort of secretarial type thing that she did. But she wound up meeting a lot of people, and Harry Carey was in town because the Cubs were apparently in town. And he was walking along, and somehow or the other stopped to talk to her, and they talked for a little while. And he was much older at this point. This was, probably just, I don't know, 8 or 9 years before he died, maybe. And they were finished, and he just leaned over and planted one on her. But he was from that generation of men who could get old and it would be cute when they did things like that. We live in a world now where that's not going to be cute anymore, so it's another reason not to get old. Hey, Portsmouth Piper. Good to see you. And Pipes and Shores. Yale Mixture. Oh, that's one of their English, isn't it? Virginia Latakia, good deal. Yeah, WKR Piper, keep that between you and I, okay? It's not that long, Christian, but thank you. This folds, and I just leave it out so I don't have to try to pick it out every time. Yeah, Pegasus is good stuff, Jim. This is one of these, I think it's Sheffield. I don't know who made it, but it was Sheffield, England, was the steelworks. And let's see, it's got a reaming knife. Oh, it's Kamoy. It's made by Kamoy. It's got a reaming knife, and it's got a sort of more standard pen knife in it. And then the tamper on the end, and a little pipe pick on that end. I got this, actually I bought a pipe on eBay, and this just came in the box with the pipe. Didn't know I was getting it. It could be sharp enough to cut a plug. I just haven't sharpened it that much, but yeah, I think it could cut a plug. Rogers of Sheffield, I think that's right, Ben. Yeah, but it is made. It's probably commissioned by Kamoy. So this is pretty much to the bottom now, and I'm ready for Burley. So I'm going to switch to some of this Watch City Slices from Watch City Cigar Company. This has really grown on me. I think I told you before I was kind of mixed on it, but I found out that the packing is really important on this one. If you rub it out, which is what I was doing, it's not as good as if you just kind of squish it up and jam it in the pipe. So it's one of those. Hey, over a pipe, good to see you. Here's the Artful Codger, basically a dealer. No comment on that, Wisconsin Woodsman. So I'm just like breaking off a chunk of the crumble cake and then just kind of mushing it up. And I'm putting it in a new pipe that I'm really excited to show you. I love this pipe. So this came to me just yesterday, so I smoked it yesterday for the first time, and I love it. Look at that. This is actually a handmade pipe by Full Smoking Bar, who I think is in the chat tonight. And let me just put this tobacco in before I drop it. He made that out of bamboo. That's a Missouri meerschaum stem on it. And he lined the inside with pipe mortar. So it smokes beautifully. It smokes like a cob would smoke. It heats up a bit, but not excessively. I really like this, and I just think it looks really cool. He did a great job joining up the bamboo there. He colored the bamboo by torching it, which is a traditional way to color bamboo. And the way he put it was that he thought CaneRod piper should have a CaneRod pipe, and I'm really happy to have this. So thank you, Full Smoking Bar, if you're still out there. And by the way, he just put up another video tonight that I did watch. He's been doing some videos on answering questions, and I think they're mostly questions that he's got from one of the Facebook groups that he belongs to, but they've been pretty informative. So highly recommend you go check out Full Smoking Bar, and I will put a link to his channel in the description later tonight after the video posts. No, Rob, I have not yet tried Boswell's Premium Burley. It's on my list. Yeah, it's a very nice sized bowl for sure. But the pipe mortar, if he didn't put the pipe mortar in, he pointed this out to me, it would be an enormous bowl. But the pipe mortar takes up a lot of it, and it smokes beautifully. I'm really impressed. I grabbed the clipper, that's the only reason I'm using it. I do have flints. Yeah, it smokes a lot like a cob, Tony. Eric Blue Collar had a pipe that looked like an old stump. Don't most of his pipes look like old stumps? Yeah, Philadelphia Piper, I did find them. They were in the last place I put them. Yeah, Frank, I think it really does look just perfect. I like the balance of it. I like the way my hand goes around this node right here. It fits my hand really well. Nick did a great job. Wooden mallets. I haven't seen him yet, Jim. I really wish he was here for this. Maybe I'll catch it on the replay and be annoyed that he can't say anything about it. No, the stem is actually just Missouri meerschaum amber stem. So it's the, what is it, propionate plastic. And that's just what Nick had on hand. I might eventually make another stem for it. We'll see. But I've got multiple. That's true, Chad. Eric doesn't know how to work. Hey, Dot, good to see you. Briar Fiend, good to see you too. Ben. I've lost my place. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a new stem for this at some point. because I just think it deserves a nice stem. But I've got 4 pipes of my own that I need to re-stem now, so it's not going to be for a while. Camo stems are coming along well. I was hoping to have a couple of them done today, but I just didn't have the time. But they're coming nicely. So if you're interested, keep an eye on Instagram. That's where I'll probably post them when they're done. That's the truth, Chuck. No, Tony, I gotta remake that one, and I haven't had the time to do the lathe work on it. Yeah, somebody please do send Eric a message and let him know. I feel a little guilty about it, to be honest. Mine, it's CaneRod Piper. It's relatively contained. I missed who that was, I'm sorry. And I do have windows down here, and I have an air filter that I use for, like the woodworking dust and stuff like that does a pretty good job keeping it contained. Good point, Fragrant. That'll get rid of the guilt immediately. And Ben has no. Yeah, Tony, that would be nice. Oh, ... You might have done a bad thing. I wonder if it would do any good to start a campaign, a writing campaign, or a petition to try to get Middleton to bring Sugar Barrel back. Even if they did, it probably wouldn't be the same. I mean, that's how the Edward G. Robinson blend came back. That was Jim Inks. I forget Jim's last name, but if you ever have looked at Jim, obviously Amish. Thank you, Old Hollywood Bar. Yeah, if you've ever looked at tobacco reviews, you see Jim Inks is very prolific in terms of reviewing tobaccos. And he started a campaign to get the Edward G. Robinson back into production, and it worked. And that's why we have that blend again. Oh, you got some the original Sugar Barrel piano piper? Or is it one of the matches? Is that so? A JFK assassination expert. That's interesting. It's a good question, Pipes and Chores. I don't know. Yeah, Heine's came back. He does draw comic books. Yeah, I knew that. The original, great. You're going to love it. Well, I hope you love it. If not, you know where to send it. Fantastic. Yeah, Ben, you're probably right about that. Of course, Middleton owns the Phillies, so I can't badmouth them too much. I was, just for the record, Piano Piper, I was kidding. I've got plenty. So share it with somebody else that would not have a chance to try it if you wish. Yeah, Takio, it's fairly simple. It might be, the topping might be the most difficult thing. Yeah, fragrant offering, but we do it with love. Pipe Smoker Cowboy Chris, good to see you, buddy. I think last time I saw you, you were setting up a new ham radio. Is that working out well for you? That's a great question, Ben. Boy, if those two things matched up, I would have quite a conflict of interest on my hands. Hey, Andrew, good to see you, my friend. Oh, Ron, it happened once. People think we throw snowballs at Santa every time we see him. That planting tobacco, old Hollywood briar. I've got several little Burley sprouts going right now. Kirk's asking, what do I think of Amphora pipe tobacco? Some of it's very good. I really like the Amphora original and some of the other ones. Yeah, the Amphora Burley is definitely on my must-try list. Yeah, Andrew, I have tried the Sutliff Edgeworth match, and it's good. It's very good. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Yeah, we're doing fine here. Everett recommends Amphora blends. Gus Evening, what blend do you smoke in your first pipe of the day? Usually Carter Hall. So yeah, I've heard that, Takio, the Amphora Burley is very similar to the McBaron Burley flake. And I have to look at it to see, because one of the problems is that there's this idea sometimes that when you're buying a pouch of tobacco, it's cheap. But sometimes it actually, if you can get, like you can buy a pound of the Burley flake, so it may actually be cheaper to do that, the McBaron Burley flake, than to buy the pouches of the Amphora. I just don't know. Yeah, American Spirit does make Perique cigarettes, and I believe that's the company that buys that special Perique we were talking about last time that only Native Americans can get. No, Carter Hall is nothing like Mixture 79, Tony. Mixture 79 is a very, It's topped, and the topping is quite apparent. Carter Hall has a topping, but it doesn't really come through. It's much more just a natural Burley flavor with a little bit of Virginia in there to add some sweetness. The topping, it's hard to describe, but it's very, very minimal. The chicks are back. BLWB. I'm sorry, Takio, I don't know what BLWB is. Every once in a while, I feel like oh, Burley Light without a bite. Yeah, I have had that, and I did not like it very much. It tasted a bit too chemical to me, and that's probably my issue rather than an issue with tobacco itself, because I am really sensitive to artificial flavorings. I just taste the chemicals. So Burley Light without a bite didn't work for me, but I know a lot of people really like it. Yeah, Jeff, I've heard that Carter Hall has cocoa, and I don't get I get a little hint of it sometimes, but it certainly isn't the predominant thing for me. Tobacco Pipes International, how you doing, buddy? That's fantastic, PBR. Do I like half and half? It's fine. I've got, if I line up the Cadre blends, at one end I put, I think I just talked about this, so sorry if I'm repeating myself, but at one end I put Carter Hall, which is my personal favorite, and at the other end I put Granger, not because it's bad, but because it just always smokes very hot for me. And I'd say half and half is somewhere in the middle. But Chuck, I actually turn the furnace off, because if my furnace comes on, you won't be able to hear me. Yeah, me too, Tony. Yeah, Burley definitely does have that slight cocoa edge to it, so it's hard to tell if it's a topping or not in Carter Hall. Exactly, Pipes and Chores. That's why I love it. It's just no nonsense, and it tastes great. And man, does it go good with coffee. That's the main reason it's my first smoke most days. Yeah, the only thing I've heard about Mutton Chop is that there was something going on with his mom and he needed to take some time off to care for her. Don't know anything else. Hope he's well. Yeah, Gus, I have tried them. Please don't ask me to say number one, number two, number three, because I can never keep them straight, but I like most of them. I don't like Gus is asking about the C&D Burley flakes. I don't like the ones with the Orientals or Latakias as much, just because I don't tend to like that sort of blend. Hey, Full Doddle, good to see you, Dallas. Thanks for stopping in. I have two Dot, and they're both Dot's asking about the types of lathes I have. They're both Grizzly. I've got a wood lathe and a metal lathe. Ah, the Granada series, Briar Fiend, the Jeremy Britt. Maybe, Doc. That does happen sometimes, but I haven't noticed it. You know, I've smoked it both from the pouch and from the not tin but tub, and I've never seen much of a difference with Carter Hall. It's kind of like Ben was saying last week. The great thing about a lot of these codger blends is that they are just so incredibly consistent. Wisconsin Woodsman, have a good weekend. Yeah, Full Smoking Bar saying the same. Is that the reason you drink the bourbon, Jim? Yeah, Couch, anything sharp. The best way to do it is if you got a drill press and a Faulkner bit. But if you don't have that, really any chisel, even a sharpened, what's the word, a screwdriver. Or what you can do is heat it up with a heat gun or a hair dryer, and this will pull right out. And when this pulls out, you can then, we'll mark it first with a pencil, cut it off, and then put it back in. Hey, Pipeman, thanks for joining us. Have a good evening. I didn't describe that well, Couch. If you mark it now and cut it on that line, you won't have anything to stick back in, but you'll figure it out. Yeah, and I'm not responsible for you working with sharp objects. Yeah, Briar Fiend, I'm working on them. I don't have any done yet. Glad you translate, Couch. Yeah, wood glue works. I use epoxy. It's a little bit more robust. It's not getting anywhere near the parts that you're going to be burning, so it's not a worry. All right, Full Doddle. Full Doddle's daughter says to make sure we wash our hands. We will do that. Cinnamon on the retrohale. That's interesting, Cogs. I don't know that I've noticed that. Yeah, Philadelphia Piper acrylic stems can be bent. It's a bit more of a challenge, but they can be bent. If you're trying to do it yourself, you got to be really careful. Acrylic, it stresses easily. So if it's not hot enough, it'll basically get stress fractures in it. So you got to get it really hot, and it doesn't rebend very well. You know, with vulcanite, if you just bend it too far, you can just heat it up and it has memory, it'll go back. Acrylic won't do that, so you got to be a lot more careful with it. I saw Doug Owen pop in. How you doing, Doug? Yeah, I do prefer vulcanite stems, Tony, but they're higher maintenance, so I understand why people like the excuse me, the acrylics. Codger Jim, good to see you, buddy. David Dixon, thank you for being here tonight. Have a good evening. Simplex, how you doing, buddy? PBR Street Gang is asking about using OxiClean on to deoxidize stems. It doesn't deoxidize the stem. It cleans it, and it actually oxidizes the stem. So if you soak a stem in OxiClean, you're going to have to do more sanding of it than if you just sand it. But sometimes the oxidation is so deep that the only way to really get it out is to hit it with the OxiClean, let it all come to the surface, and then sand off that surface. Yeah, it does. It puts a layer of oxidation on it, but it also, in the process of sanding off that layer of oxidation, you've guaranteed that you've gotten below the layer of oxidation that was originally there. So I don't think it's necessary. I just sand the stems. If they're really bad, I'll occasionally put them. Actually, I use peroxide instead of OxiClean, but like a 30% peroxide with hot water. Yeah, dudes, it's the OxiClean that's doing that. Full Smoking Bar saying vinegar works too. Does the vinegar cause oxidation, or does it just clean it? I've never tried that. That's an interesting thought, though. And Desert Pine Piper is now doing his Bob Dylan impressions. All right, Briar Fiend, have a good one. But oh gosh, we're almost 9:15. Oh, reacts with the oxidation. Choate is saying if you stick a pipe cleaner in the acrylic stem before heating it, it prevents the airway from being blocked. Yeah, I do that with ebonite stems as well, and it does help because if you got the stem real hot and you squeeze on it, you can close off that airway. Do you shape your stems on a belt sander or lathe or hand? All of the above, Andrew. All of the above. I do as much as I can on the lathe, which is not very much if you're making replacement stems. And then I do some shaping on the belt sander and a lot of hand filing and sandpaper. It's a Yingling, Jim, and it's almost gone. In fact, we'll make it gone. We'll go to 9:30 tonight, guys. Berserkly, good to see you. Time does fly when you're drinking. So, give you a couple of things to look forward to. So next week, we're going to have Pipes and Bees on as a guest, and that should be a lot of fun. Gotten to know Pipes and Bees a bit better over the past couple of months, and he's a real interesting guy. I think you're going to really enjoy the conversation with him. Yeah, ... that's unfortunate. You do get what you pay for. So next week is going to be Pipes and Bees. The week after that, it's still penciled in, but I'm fairly certain, I haven't gotten full confirmation yet, but I'm fairly certain we're going to have Northwest Pipe Smoker Tom on the following week. And I'm doing that because I'm just taking advantage of the fact that he's available because of the shutdown and everything. And I might be doing that for a couple of people in the coming weeks. So rather than having these solo streams, I might have a string of guests on just because I can get them on right now. So we'll take advantage of the fact that people have free time. So I hope you'll be able to tune in for that. That should be a great interview as well. All right, Full you take care. Yes, Doug, Tom did contact me, and I really appreciate you putting us in touch. So I've already got him scheduled for May 8th. And by the way, Doug, the first thing that Tom did was recommend that I get you on for a show, and I'd love to do that. So if you're interested, please get in touch by email. I'd really, really love to do that. Tony, I don't own any Dunhills. I've worked on quite a few of them. They're fine pipes. I don't know if they're worth the price you pay for them. And, you know, I'm not going to say any more because if you like your pipe, you like your pipe. Oh, Big Dave, that is lucky. I'm happy with the little lathe I have. You know, for making stems, it's perfect. I think it's 10 by 18. But yeah, there are times when I really wouldn't mind having a big piece of metal in the shop for bigger jobs. This this bamboo pipe is just amazing. I mean, you can see it's not, you know, I'm puffing it pretty hard, and it's perfectly fine to hold in my hand, even though the walls are fairly thin. Everett, I didn't know it was possible for you to get smoked on. Everyone on eBay is selling their sellers. Ah, all the unicorn blends. Yeah, it's fairly deep, Duck. It, you know, it goes right to where the airway comes in. Hey, Doug, I sure do. If you want to get in touch, my website is CaneRodPipes.com, or you can send me an email, CaneRodPiper.com. The only thing is, I'll tell you up front, I'm slow. I do real careful work, but I don't have the throughput that you know, a true commercial pipe repair guy would have. Everett, did the butt of the cigar go in the pipe? I think there's something about that it's a bit stronger for some reason. You know, I don't normally get much of a nicotine hit off of pipes or cigars, but when I do that cigar butt in the pipe at the end of a cigar, for some reason feel like I get a nicotine hit. Oh, it's a Tarot lathe. That's fantastic. Yeah, Doug, that's my philosophy for sure. Slow is good in pipe repair. I like to be careful and take my time with it. Call outs for what, Paul? That's okay, WKR Piper. They'll be around. It's gonna take me another week probably before I get them all done. So you got time. Oh, you got a storm there, Steve? Well, if you gotta take care of the grandkids, that's what you gotta do, my friend. All right, Steve, you take care. Oh, great smoking Kentucky Piper. Yeah, that Murphy's oil soap really does work well. You have to scrub it a bit, but it really does a good job. I agree, Everett. Tobacco is tobacco. Unless it's menthol flavored and wrapped in paper. Heartcrackers 1. You got thunderstorms on the way as well. Doc the Elder, I don't know of any cigars with all pipe tobacco. There have been some cigars with a lot of Kia. Never were terribly popular, I think, but I haven't seen any that were all pipe tobacco. Frosty Mint. I'm not saying that you didn't smoke them, pipes and chores. I just don't think they count as tobacco. Yeah, it's a good point, Big Dave. It is definitely a safer alternative to a lot of things. Oh, Beehive Cigars makes all pipe tobacco cigars, so that's good to know. Thanks, Old Hollywood Briar. An old Toby cigar. Not familiar with that one. I'm having a little trouble keeping the chat on here. Pipe Smoker 795. Good to see you. You are a bit late though. We're getting ready to wrap up. Yeah, Philadelphia Piper. Those Candelas that I was smoking for a while are Fuente. Is it 585 or 586? Something I can't remember. Those are nice Candelas, and they're fairly easy to find. Tony, have a good evening. Yeah, half and half. No, I think actually, was it half and half that was used in Lucky Strike? I don't know. Ben did a whole video about Velvet, and was that? No, I think it was a roll your own thing. I don't know. I can't remember. I thought there was something about Lucky Strike in that video. Maybe it was half and half. Good deal, Pipe Smoker 795. I appreciate that. Have a good one, Pipes and Chores. Thanks for coming in. Rob says, don't get the iguanas. They're nasty. Yeah, Takio, I think that is a sign. I think I'm going to wrap it up, guys. But I thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been a lot of fun having a pipe with you and having a little sane conversation. It makes the week for me. So I hope you all have a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday morning, hopefully, with a quick video. You all take care and be safe. Tune in next week for Pipes and Bees. And until I see you again, I hope you all take good care of yourselves and those close to you. Have a good one, guys.